Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, we're coming up to Christmas, and Christmas, I'd just like to play that little video because we have to remember that Christmas is not a happy time for everybody, is it? Unfortunately. Families out there like Gus Lamont's family. Where is Gus? Here we are hurtling towards Christmas. Very difficult situation because Gus, who's 4 years old, he's missing. So I don't see how they're going to enjoy Christmas at all. But of course, Gus has a sibling as well. And he deserves, I suppose, to have a Christmas just like other children do. Very difficult. So my heart is going out to this family. As with all families who have people missing, or maybe something terrible's happened just before Christmas, and it's always a bad thing, obviously, but it seems worse near Christmas because everyone looks like everyone's having a great time and this, that, and the other, and it's like rammed down your throat. So I just want to say a little prayer, first of all, not only for Gus and his family, but for any families or anybody who's struggling for whatever reason this year coming up to Christmas. And it can be financially, it can be bereavement, it can be somebody missing, it can be the loss of a pet, it can be mental health issues, it can be worrying about somebody in the family. There's a million things that unfortunately can go wrong in life, can't they? So we just have to make the most of every day and make the best of the Christmas. If we're lucky enough to be coming up to Christmas without any of these traumas in our life, then we have to just count our blessings and try and help people who aren't so fortunate. And this year maybe everything's hunky-dory, but you don't know what'll be happening next year. Or maybe you've had Christmases that weren't hunky-dory. So it's a big world out there. There's a lot of people and they're all experiencing different things, aren't they? So I just wanted to say that before we start. So now we're going to be talking about Gus. Not that there's any news. I've got to, spoiler alert, if you like. I probably shouldn't say that. Some people will be just switching off, but he hasn't been found. Of course, this is Gus Lamont, 4 years old. Disappeared off a sheep station in Australia, in Unths, near Adelaide. Was playing outside apparently one Saturday evening, round about 6ish in the evening. Was playing outside, disappeared without a trace, or one boot print apparently was found. And there's been so many searches. So this was back in September. Gus has been missing for 2 months now. So the chances of him being alive are very slim unless he's actually been kidnapped. Really, that's the only chance that he can be alive after 2 months, because a little boy like this could not survive for 2 months. Just, unfortunately, that is the situation. So he disappeared, and the police, the law enforcement, they've searched. It's a very difficult terrain to search. It's open, but it's huge and dusty, and there's lots of possibilities that a child might have come to harm, accidental harm. But I think the problem is, why has it not been found? If he roamed off, had an accident, why have his remains not been found? Nothing has been found. He was the clothes he was wearing, he had a hat on. Nothing, nada, zilch. And the police have done several searches now. And the last search they did was the mine shafts. They searched 6 mine shafts. And I came up against what I think is an interesting article about the history of those mine shafts. Why are there mine shafts there, and why did the police not search them sort of immediately? So apparently they didn't know about them. They found these mine shafts with the drone searches that they've done. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it, how many other possible mine shafts are out there. You know, it's just literally looking for a needle in a haystack, isn't it? Anyway, first of all, stop everything. Don't forget to like, to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Press the notification bell so that you get updates on this case and others. We're going to follow Gus's case. I hope the family gets some resolution one way or another, sooner or later. So, you know, there's the family, unfortunately, they've come under a lot of suspicion for, you know, as families do, but it's an unconventional, I suppose you would say, family dynamic. Gus lived on this homestead with his two grandmas, because one of his grandmas transitioned, was his grandpa and became his grandma over 10 years ago, but they're still all living there together. So the two Gmas, Gus's mum, and Gus's sibling, Gus's brother, were all living on this homestead. And his dad, Josh, was living about, you know, quite a long way away, doing up a house, supposedly with the intention of eventually moving his family in there, because he did not want to live on this homestead. And reportedly, he had some conflicts with Josie, the grandmother who transitioned. But again, you know, there's a lot of speculation, as with everything. So we have to take everything with a bit of a pinch of salt. The police currently are still saying they believe Gus wandered off by accident. No foul play. So there you go. That's where we are. No foul play that we know of. But it seems unlikely that it can have been abducted from this place. So, yeah, there's only a couple of options, really, isn't there? Either that the family are lying and did something to poor Gus, or they're telling the truth and he did wander off and he's come to some harm, you know, literally that. But there's no real evidence for either, not that we know of anyway. There is some sort of speculation because he hadn't been seen for quite a long time. It's at least March since he was last seen by anyone outside the family. So of course that causes consternation, doesn't it? You know. Anyway, we're not savvy to the police investigation, what they know, what they don't know. We just have to wait and hope that there's some resolution one way or another for this family and this little boy. Okay, so hi lovely lurkers, very early stream this morning. Thanks for being with me. I'm on my coffee. My coffee. That's because I'm just about to say thanks to people that have said coffees. Hi lovely lurkers. Hi replay crew. Thank you for watching, and see I'm not quite awake yet. I am in Spain, based in mainland Spain. And just for people who may be coming to this channel for the first time, you know, I talk about true crime. I do a lot of waffle, unfortunately, as well. Or fortunately, some people love the waffle. But also, so I'm based in mainland Spain, in Europe. And I talk about crime cases from all over the English-speaking world, really. No AI, you know, I am what I am. If you prefer, you know, more sort of automated channels that don't waffle, and you know, AI is a big thing now. I'm not AI, so I'm here for, you know, I am what I am. Sorry, God, I feel like I've had a drink and it's like it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm on my third coffee. I think maybe I've got a caffeine high. Yeah, I don't normally have 3 coffees. I only normally have 2. Maybe I've had too many. So yeah, that's me. So I want to say thank you to all my members. Thank you to anyone who's bought me a coffee, sent me a super sticker. And hi to replay crew. Did I say that? Hi, thanks for watching. Now I'm going to see who's in the chat. Who's up at this godforsaken hour in the morning? But of course, for some of my viewers, it will not be morning. It'll be evening. Oh, David, you're up early. Hi, David. Hi, Maria. Hi, Julie. You're up early. You've probably got classes today, have you? Yeah. 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 Continuing the. Thanks for the waffle. Oh, 7 p.m. in Australia. So, yeah. Gosh. Will I make it through 7 p.m.? I'll need a nap later, I think. I've got classes. So, again, for those who don't know me, I'm a Spanish teacher. I've got some classes this morning and then later on in the day. So, yeah, I better stop waffling and get on with it. Otherwise, I'll run out of time. Yeah, there'll be, the thing is, the police will be investigating. You know, you don't think the police are just going to accept everything the family say, are they? They'll be looking into it. They'll be looking at phone records, data. There's not be no CCTV or anything like that. I mean, thing is that, you know, they will be looking into when Gus was last seen by anyone but the family. The family will be the first suspects as far as the police are concerned. So, you know, we just, what else can we do but wait and see what happens? But for now, really, we only know, you know, so according to the family, Josie, the transition GMA, and Gus's mum were over at the sheep shearing part of the sheep station, and the other GMA, Shannon, I think her name is, or Shannon, she was in the house looking after Gus and his little brother. And she left, Gus was outside playing in a sand pit or playing in something, and she left him for 30 minutes. I still think, I know that they live in a remote place and it probably gives you a false sense of security. But, you know, if you've had a child when they were 4, that is the time you can't leave them alone for a minute, can you? Even if they're in the house, even if they're in the same room as you, you know, you can't take your eyes off them for a minute because they're into all sorts of mischief. So the thought of leaving a child outside for 30 minutes, to me, a 4-year-old child, you know, even a 10-year-old, you know, you'd think about twice about leaving them outside for 30 minutes without just checking every now and again. But a 4-year-old, you know, it just seems, but I think that's maybe it's the nature of where they live and they feel safe there, you know, because there's nobody around, because the normal things you'd be worried about is somebody snatching your child, but I think also because it's such a big sprawling place, wouldn't you be worried about them, you know, falling over, or, you know, getting sort of trapped somewhere? I don't, just think 30 minutes for a 4-year-old is a long time. And 30 minutes is enough time for them to get quite far away, I suppose. But, you know, sometimes people say, no, he might have gone further, he might have gone further. I don't think for a minute he will have gone further. You know, and somebody was saying in one of the articles maybe he was going looking for his mum, but, you know, I'm presuming Gus has lived on this place probably since he was born. Expect it's been drummed into him not to leave the area, that he can play outside but not to leave the area. Why would he take off, you know, to try and find his mum? It just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, there you go. Does not make sense. Thank you, Julie. Yes. Online classes today. Well, funnily, I'm the opposite. I've got some face-to-face classes. There's some in the Christmassy thing. I've got I didn't put it on because obviously we talked about something serious. But yes, I'm trying to get in the Christmas spirit. Because now we are in December, but we've still got 23 days to go before it's actual Christmas Day. But I do like my Christmas jumpers and that. This jumper is so comfy and so cozy, so I'm glad I can wear it again because I haven't worn it for a year. So I've got 3 Christmas jumpers now because I try and buy one every year. But the last one that I bought from Temu, don't bother with Temu. It wasn't even a jumper. It's just a t-shirt really with long sleeves, but I like it. It looks nice, but it's not warm. This is cozy. Got to be cozy because it is 9 degrees here at the moment. Only 9 degrees. It's quite chilly, isn't it? Yeah, I should let's see if I can. Yeah, it's got a putty tat on it and a star. It's red, which is one of my favourite colours, and it's cozy. So it's the perfect Christmas jumper. This one. So yeah, I'd quite like a black one. I haven't got a black Christmas jumper. I may go mad and buy one. Cold and wet in Madrid, Julie. Yeah, it's cold and wet here. I don't know if it's wet. Actually, it's not wet. No, it's cold and sunny here. So let's have a look at this article. So I found, with the lack of any news, I don't know where they're going now. The police. Of course, they did these searches of the gold mines, the mine shafts. What's the next step? I'm presuming they searched the actual homestead multiple times. They've searched the area, they've had the army out, they've had the dogs out. I just don't know what the next step is in this case. What is the next step in the search for Gus? 2 months and nothing. But anyway, so when I was looking, as I do every day, all the cases that we're covering every day, I check to see if there's any developments. And I did find this article, which I just thought was interesting, and it helps to give us a perspective on the challenges that the police face in looking for Gus, and keep Gus's name out there. We just have to keep praying for him. Keep his name out there. He can't be. Unfortunately, these cases eventually, people do stop talking about them, don't they? Because when there's no news, what else can you do? So anyway, I thought you might find this interesting. I found it interesting. I don't know loads about the history of Australia, etc. But it's interesting, isn't it? And of course, it's a unique place. As a British person, I think, apart from the indigenous people, in Australia, everybody else is a descendant probably of some, maybe went there from Britain. I don't know. I mean, they always say that they sent all the prisoners there. Is that true? Is that actually true? Or is that an urban myth? Is, that Britain, they just sent all the... Then they did the £5 passage? Where people could go, just pay £5 to go because they wanted people in Australia. It's funny, really, isn't it? They were desperate for people, and now, of course, it's quite hard to get into Australia. You have to. There's only so many visas given, and you have to prove that. Don't they have this system where, depending on what skills they're short of, that's what they promote in particular years. There was a TV program years ago, I remember, about people who emigrated to Australia. And the thing that strikes me that I remember about watching it when I was a kid is the a lot of people suffered from agoraphobia when they went there. Or is it agoraphobia, fear of open spaces? And then, of course, is the fear of confinement, like claustrophobia, isn't it? I think agoraphobia, like people, because the UK is tiny, isn't it? You can't even walk outside your door in the UK, and there'll always be people around. There's always cars everywhere you go. It's so overpopulated. And Australia and Spain, to be honest, is the opposite. I mean, Spain is heavily populated in the cities, But once you go, it's a massive country, really, Spain, and big expanses where you don't see anybody. But Australia even more so, of course. So yeah, it's all those it's a different mentality that you get used to, isn't it? All those open spaces. Anyway, so the gold mining history of Junta resurfaces as the search continues for the missing boy. 4-year-old August Lamont, or Gus for short, vanished from his family's sheep station in September. So it's been more than 2 months since 4-year-old Gus vanished, and the police still seem to be no closer to finding him. And the most recent search happened last week when people realised there were 6 mine shafts surrounding the property that they previously had no idea existed. And the discovery of the shafts was the result of recent aerial mapping and ground searches. Mines that had previously been undocumented and were only able to be located by advanced technology such as a LIDAR, light detection and ranging. I mean, this new technology that they use to find missing people. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? This is what makes you think even more with all the technology that they've got, and they still can't find Gus, even though Gus is, even though it's quite open terrain, even though it's big terrain. And sorry, I just got to check messages. Could be to do with work. No. Even though, they've got all this technology and the dogs and the everything that they've got now, they still haven't been able to find him. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it? Anyway, just makes you wonder, where is he? Where can he be, this boy? So yeah, all this new technology and still can't find him. So LIDAR, which is a remote sensing technology that uses laser light pulses to measure distances and create highly detailed 3D maps of environments, helps give search crews accurate details on the long forgotten mines. So it's this LIDAR that's detected these mine shafts. Gosh, so it's detected them, but can't detect a little boy's body. So it just makes you think he's not there, is he? And the recent discovery of the old mine shafts has also cast a spotlight on the region's gold rush history. Junta and the outback that surrounds it was once dotted with small, short-lived gold mining operations, many dating back to the late 19th and early 20th century. It's interesting, isn't it? When gold prospectors moved on, countless shafts were left undocumented and unsealed, gradually fading from maps, but not from the landscape. So, it is dangerous. I mean, they're going to tell us about some of the things that have happened to people, that fell into mine shafts and things. I mean, of course, they are dangerous. If you didn't know they were there and you were just wandering around, he could quite easily have fallen into a mine shaft, couldn't he? But he hasn't, and not in these anyway, because they've now been searched. So, of course, they've got the technology now to search them properly as well. Some of them, they actually went down physically, and others, they can't, so they have to send down. But they've got the equipment, to check out the mine shafts. Just takes time, I suppose. So this is what I mean with all the technology that we have and that these police have got at their disposal, and they still haven't been able to find him. It just makes you wonder then, where is he? Because he's got to be somewhere. He might be little, but at the end of the day, even if he's no longer with us, unfortunately, there still be remains. And there's clothes. Where are the clothes? So today, these forgotten remnants of South Australia's mining history pose hidden dangers. Deep, unfenced holes scattered across remote scrubland, complicating search efforts and underscoring the risks faced by both locals and investigators. So yeah, the searchers are dangerous as well. Didn't they get lost, even the army, when they were out there searching? Some of their convoy got completely lost because of all the dust. And, you know, so it's a danger to people that are searching. Oh, look at his little, you know, you just see his little face. It's just heartbreaking, isn't it? Anyway, so they are relics of South Australian pioneering history, and the shafts searched during the investigation are relics of South Australia's gold rush era, when prospectors carved deep into the earth in search of fortune, often leaving behind undocumented shafts. In 1886, more than 5,000 miners rushed to the Tulpa goldfield, northeast of Yunta, producing 3,000. What's that? You know, I'm crap with numbers. Is that 3,132 kilograms of gold in 3 years? It's interesting about so, you know, are there no indigenous people in this area? And did you know, were they interested in the gold? You know, gold was it just sort of pioneers like who were interested in the gold? Were the indigenous people, had they harvested any of the gold? It's so, hi Darren. Well, that's an interesting thing that you say there, Julie. I would have been worried that Gus could have been bitten by a snake, left alone playing in a sand pile. Yeah, because, you know, when Josie had a meltdown, like when the Daily Mail reporter turned up and Josie went out there with a pump action shotgun to threaten her off the property, but then later said, oh, she had this shotgun because to shoot a snake. So if there were snakes out there, Gus should never have been left alone, not even for 5 minutes, never mind 30 minutes. This is what doesn't ring true about this story. You know, 1 minute they're saying, oh, they got shotgun. It wasn't to threaten the Daily Mail reporter. It was because there was a snake on the patio. But then the next minute they're letting a 4-year-old play outside on a sandpit for 30 minutes alone, unsupervised. And how did they know? They're not only snakes out there, there's spiders, isn't there? So, you know, never mind like the big predators that have been sort of talked about, like eagles and stuff like that, which seem to have been more or less poo-pooed, that he could have been taken away by an animal. But there's plenty of other things out there that can hurt him over there in Australia. The snakes, the poisonous spiders. You know, he should never be left unsupervised, because he could have been playing out there, got bitten by a spider, and before, you know, if she left him for 30 minutes, by the time she went out there and realised he'd been bitten by a spider, he could have been dead. Or, you know, and the same with the snake. I must admit, there is something that you just think, even though I know it's a secluded area and they would feel safe, that he wouldn't be actually kidnapped, perhaps, but there's so many dangers there, you know. 30 minutes is an awful long time to leave a 4-year-old, I think. You know, even if thank you, Sibal Serini. Let me just put my little thank you on. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Very kind. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Julie. You would never have let somebody let a child play outside when there's supposedly snakes, spiders, God knows what sort of critters are out there. Thank you so much for the super sticker. That's very kind. From down under. Thank you. Yeah, you just wouldn't. So I think Julie's not saying, David, that Gus was bitten by a snake. What she's saying is you wouldn't let him play outside in case he was bitten by a snake, which makes sense. Oh yeah, if he was bitten by a snake, he would have been found. Of course, he would have just been right there. But that's the point. So there's snakes around. They've admitted there are snakes around because. Yeah, there was Josie with her pump action shotgun, supposedly to shoot a snake. So yeah, it's like if I knew there were snakes outside when my son was young and I let him play outside, you just wouldn't, would you? Not on his own. A 4-year-old that, oh yeah, go and play out. You just wouldn't do it. So anyway, that's what I think. So okay, so let's carry on with this. So where had I got to? So these shafts were dug hastily, with many abandoned when the rush subsided. And South Australia's abandoned mines have claimed a number of lives over the years, with locals and visitors involved in fatal incidents over the years. So there have been incidents. So in 2006, a 55-year-old from Puraka died after falling into a mine shaft in Coober Pedy. Oh, in Coober Pedy. Sorry, I don't know these names. So, and in the same year, a body of a local 45-year-old woman had to be recovered from a mine shaft in the notorious Dead Man Gully opal field. Dead Man's Gully. I mean, you know what? The names of these places, they tell you a story, don't they? If a place is called Dead Man's Gully, it's not going to be a good place, is it, to go and visit? It's like it tells you everything you need to know, really, doesn't it? And funnily enough, they talk about an opal mine shaft. So opals are a precious stone, and I don't know if you know, but they're supposed to be bad luck. Many years ago, I had years ago when I was about 18, I remember I bought an opal ring off a catalogue. Do you remember catalogues where you'd buy it and you'd pay for it in installments? And this is absolutely 100% true story, and it's a bit sad, but it's very sad. But so me and my best friend at the time, Elaine, we both, like when you're young, you want the same things as your friend. As you get older, you'd hate to be wearing the same thing as someone. But I think when you're young, it's like, oh, what are you wearing today? Oh, I'll wear my pinafore dress as well, or I'll wear my platform shoes. And we both bought a gold and an opal ring off the catalogue. And oh my God. So it was a beautiful ring. Opal is like let's have a look. It's like a pale sort of white stone, isn't it? Let's see some images of opals. So when I Googled it, these are it's a beautiful stone. Look, so beautiful. As I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, God, how gorgeous it is. But I don't know if you know, but they have got a reputation for being unlucky. Opals are unlucky. Anyway, I have to say, my friend, she died in a car. She was run over one Christmas. And anyone who's read my book, Confessions of a Spanish Teacher, the story is in there of what happened to my friend Elaine. And she was coming home from work one night and just She was distracted because she'd had an argument with her boyfriend, and she stepped out into the road and was run over. And she was in a coma for quite a long time, and the family had to turn off her life support machine on Christmas Day. She was 20, round about the age of 20. She was maybe a year or two older than me. I was about 18, 19. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, so can you imagine what I did with my ring after that? I just threw it away. Because, you know, we had heard this, that opals were supposed to be unlucky. Now, it depends if you're superstitious or not, and if you believe in things like that. But I would never wear an opal again because of it. You know, oh, look, you can get one. Look, €2.33 on Temu. God. Anyway, it can't be a real opal, can it? Yeah, because then you're going for, oh, that silver. Look at that beauty. I mean, it's beautiful. I love shiny things. You know, it is absolutely gorgeous. They are gorgeous, but I would never wear an opal, that's for sure. Yeah, David, with catalogues, £3 down, then change your address. I probably owe fortunes to the catalogue company from years ago. Well, not fortunes, but trying to think what was the name of that do they still do catalogues anymore? Probably not. Oh God, what was the name of that catalogue company that I bought it for? Anyway, I don't know, but yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, if you've got opals, I would recommend don't wear them. Don't wear them. Get rid of them. Opals are a bad look, I think. Let me just see what it says on the internet about that. I don't know where I heard that, but we did hear that they were bad luck, and we were sort of making a joke of it. So apparently the idea that opals bring bad luck is a myth that originated in the 19th century, primarily from Sir Walter Scott's novel Anne of Geierstein. While the novel depicted a character's bad fortune linked to an opal, the superstitious beliefs were fueled by the story and the gem's fragile nature, making it susceptible to damage during cutting, and a later push by the diamond industry to promote its own product. Oh, so there's a bit of propaganda there. So the diamond industry trying to say, oh, don't wear opals, wear diamonds. Historically, opals were often seen as lucky. And today, gemologists and jewelers widely view the bad luck superstition as a tale, not a truth. Well, I'm sorry, you know, my friend, it didn't prove very lucky first, so I'm sticking with that. Don't wear opals, in my opinion. Definitely would not wear opals. Yeah, no, there have been. Yeah, Maria, they thought, anyway, just explain there why. Could it be like a rumor put around, like they said, by the diamond industry trying to push diamonds? But I had heard that. But they're very pretty stones, but I wouldn't wear one even if you gave me one free. So, okay, let's go back to this. So this in 2006, a 55-year-old died after falling into a mine shaft in Cuba Pedy. The same year, a body of a local 45-year-old woman had to be recovered from a mine shaft in the notorious Dead Man's Gully opal field. This is what I'm saying. Well, it doesn't sound like it was a very lucky opal field, does it, when they named it Dead Man's Gully? You know, if as I say, if a place is named, you know, like something to do with death or whatever, the name tells you that it's dangerous. So in 2024, a man narrowly escaped with his life after falling down a 30-meter opal. It's an opal mine shaft again, also near the opal grounds at Cuba Pedy. So, well, it seems like the opals weren't very lucky for some of these people. Gosh, I mean, it must, when you think about it, then it must have been terrifying going down these mines, because you didn't have You know, mining is dangerous even now, isn't it? Even with all the technology that we have, being a miner is a dangerous job. But of course, we've moved on from, like, these guys haven't even got hats, you know, hard hats on or anything. You know, they just literally just get up in the morning, oh, let's go and do a bit of mining, you know. Yeah, very dangerous job then. It's, I say, dangerous now. So at Wakaringa, just north of Yunta, gold was worked from 1873 to 1969 with 1,427 kilograms extracted from ore. And Yunta itself was founded in 1887 as miners streamed through on their way to Titulpa and Wakaringa, later becoming a railway hub linking Adelaide to Broken Hill. An outback truck driver, Harry Ding, ka-ching ding, later made Yunta famous as a mail carrier from 1934 and symbolised the town's shift from mining to transport. I mean, is there still opal and gold, etc., down these mines? Or did they just get to the limit and there was no more? Is it all finished now? Is there none left now? Miners at Titulpa often faced shortages of water and firewood, resulting to dry blowing techniques to extract gold from dust. But when the gold discoveries dried up, yeah, it looks like they dried, so did the towns. In the because there wouldn't be any other jobs there, would they? I mean, you'd have a town that was run just for the gold mining industry, if you like. And once people stopped going there to look for gold, then your supermarket, you know, your stores or your bars or whatever would be useless as well. So in the region, mine shafts had already been dug as deep as 260 metres. Imagine digging that without the technology we've got today. Alongside the shafts, little remains, just towering stone chimneys and ruins of hotels, shops and schools. The ruins of Wakaringa's main street stand as ghostly reminders of the boom, once home to a bustling hotel, post office and school. And the last owner of the hotel was Aboriginal Boss Drover. Oh, Boss Drover. I thought I was going to say it was an Aborigine, but of course no, because they were completely, the indigenous people were completely subjugated, really, weren't they? Billy Mackenzie, who paid for it in cash from his saddlebags and continued the hotel for another year before the droving work dried up, and only a handful of residents remained in Wakaringa. He sold it to another man who stripped the hotel of metal and wood to sell. So police earlier confirmed they were not aware of the 6 shafts now being searched. A stark reminder of how incomplete records are from the gold rush era. Gosh. So I suppose it's just the sheep stations now. I mean, what is in Yunta? Anyway, the latest search for Gus has provided nothing, with the mine shafts offering no further clues in the disappearance of the little boy. And for Yunta's small community, Gus's disappearance has been heartbreaking. And family friend Bill Harbison said Gus's family remain devastated. We miss him more than words can express, he told 7 News. So for the Lamont family and the Yunta community, hope remains that answers will be found. Authorities stress there is no evidence of foul play, but they have not ruled it out. Despite draining a dam containing 3.2 million litres of water, combing 470 square kilometres of rugged terrain and battling scorching heat, search crews have only found a single footprint around 500 metres from the homestead. I still think that single footprint, I just don't understand how you find How do you find a single footprint? You know, it's like, thank you, Maria, for the pronunciation. Cooper PD. How, you know, I just do not understand how you find a single footprint. Where's the others? You know, just what it's like. Somebody feels like somebody's placed it there, doesn't it? Why would you just find a single footprint, a boot print? You know, there's sort of times where, you know, I really do feel for this family. I don't like casting aspersions on families and things, but you just think leaving the child for half an hour is not a good, you know, in an area where there might be snakes or spiders. Not a good idea, is it? And there are predators around. Just wouldn't do it. And then this one boot, you know, there's a lot of red flags. You know, there are a lot of red flags, but then, you know, that the police, you know, until we know anything, till we know anything really, how can we, you know, we've just got this fight. At the end of the day, there's a mother out there and two GMAs and a father and any other family and a brother that are missing Gus. And we're coming up to Christmas and this is a little boy missing. Awful. So apparently his mother and his other grandparent were tending sheep on the family's 6,000 hectare property, 43 kilometres south of Yunta. So that was the police draining the dam. They drained the dam. They found nothing. So here is some pictures of the Oak Park station. So apparently it's harsh, full of scrub, and there is limited water. I don't believe for a minute this boy ran off. You know, he's lived there all his life, all his little life since he was born. He would know not to run into the scrub. He will have had that drummed into him, wouldn't he? Oh, something as well that I wanted to say that I found out was interesting. The day that Gus disappeared, it was an NFL day. Now, hang on. I don't know much about Australian football. In fact, I should say I don't know much is an exaggeration. I know nothing about Australian football. But NFL. The only reason it caught my attention, I saw it on something. I don't know. Maybe somebody who's out there in Australia will know. When he disappeared, the day he supposedly disappeared, when he was reported missing, it was an NFL a day, like was it the finals or something? I don't know enough about NFL. Let's have a look. And it just drew my attention because I have this theory that maybe it wasn't a final, maybe it was just a fixture. But it was mentioned in one of the articles that I was reading. So I've noticed, you know, through doing true crime cases and that, very often things happen around significant dates, you know, like Christmas, New Year, Valentine's Day, Super Bowl. You know, quite often when you're doing a case, it'd be, oh, it was Super Bowl weekend, or it was you know, it'll have been Valentine's Day, when things come to a head on significant dates. So it's just something that occurred to me that when I saw it on an article that I now can't find. So what date did Gus go? What exact date did Gus go missing? I know it's September. Was it the 4th? September the 27th. He was reported missing. So let's have a look. NFL. September. So on September the, I can't find anything now, week 4. Do you know, why would it have been mentioned? Because his NFL is not Australian, it's American. Oh, see, I don't know why it was brought up in this article that I was reading. Thank you, C. Balserini. Oh, AFL, that's it. I was saying NFL. This just shows you how little I know about it. Yeah, the grand final. It was the day of the grand final. Now, the thing about big dates that I think that a lot of things happen around big dates. I mean, the thing is, things have got to happen on a certain date, so could just be coincidence. But quite often at Christmas, New Year, or if there's a big football match on, or things happen because people drink too much. That's why things come to a head. So there can be things that are brimming up, especially like Valentine's Day. I know that from my own life, significant events, traumatic events that happened because it was Valentine's Day. Because things come to a head if people have split up, and someone's trying to get back with someone stalking them. This is what happens to me. Then it comes to Valentine's Day, and it's like significant day, isn't it? And the stalker has not got you in their life, so and everybody seems to be having a great time because it's Valentine's Day, which of course they're probably not. But it's like Christmas, isn't it? It looks like everyone's having a great time and everyone's in a relationship except you. And this person, they've been messing you around, and things come to a head at significant dates, birthdays, people's birthdays. They think about things more. Thanksgiving. And quite often it'll be a final of a sporting event. I've noticed that things happen, and I wonder if it's because people drink a lot in those, and then they're sort of, can't cope as much, or I don't know. There's some sort of significance in these big dates. So yeah, when I saw that, it was the AFL. Yeah, what I always keep saying, NFL. It's terrible, isn't it? Just shows you how much I know. So the AFL is grand final. So what is the FAL? So is that football, isn't it? That must be the Australian Football League. Oh, of course it must be. Thicko. I am a thicko when it comes to things like this. So is it the AFL that Samantha Murphy's alleged killer, Patrick Oren Stevenson, that's where his dad played, wasn't it, in the AFL? Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make here is, I think it can be significant, those kind of things. Why, it was a Saturday, it was in the evening. Do you think maybe that's why the GMA wasn't checking on Gus so much? Maybe she was watching that. I don't know. But I feel there's some significance in this. There normally is. And I know from all countries, if it the UK, Spain, the same. If there's a big sporting occasion or some sort of big occasion, be it Christmas, be it some type of celebration, fiesta, crimes go up on that day because they're big days, aren't they? They're big days. So just thought maybe that might be significant, because I still, and it could be that the GMA was watching that. I don't know, because why you would leave a little boy outside for 30 minutes. You know, I'm sure, listen, if the family have got nothing to do with Gus's disappearance, I'm sure she's beaten herself up enough over leaving him for 30 minutes. Don't need me to tell her that it wasn't the right thing to do. I'm sure she feels terrible about the whole thing. But yeah, just these are things, you know, that play on our minds and that. But right, unfortunately, I've got to love you and leave you because I've got classes. But listen, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for caring about Gus. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, press the notification bell. I want to say thank you again to C. Balserini for the super chat. Thank you so much. And listen, have a good day, a good afternoon, or a good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Until I see you again, I'm going to put the upbeat Christmas video on now to finish. And may your God go with you. Thank you so much. I've got to change the video, actually. Yeah, because we'll have a more upbeat Christmas video to finish. Adios.
Click that like if you're smiling today. Give a follow to help spread the play. Share the play with friends everywhere, so more can laugh and show they care. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide, don't hide. Join Vicky Marie's Ride Worldwide. Tap that bell so you never miss a dose of love and endless bliss. YouTube others, search my name, Vicky Marie. Let's grow this flame. Thanks for the support. You're the best crew. Now go tell the world you know what to do. Vicky Marie. Ha ha ha. You Marie.
Ha ha ha.
Let's brag now. Click that like if you're smiling today. Give a follow to help spread the play. Share the joy with friends everywhere, so more can laugh and show they care. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide, don't hide. Let's grow this flame. Click that like if you're smiling today. Give a follow to help spread the play. Share the joy with friends everywhere, so more can laugh and show they care.